your path is good, but we're going to help it become better.
That's where I feel like setting boundaries in a loving way to be like, I can't right now.
And we're not going to be there to judge them, but we're going to be there to say, you know what, I love you.
Yeah.
Try it this way.
Welcome to the Mom Wanna Read Show. Today we have Liann Lilinoe Uyeda. She is a Kumu Lomi practitioner, the author of Cooking in Pono, and she is going to take us on a journey on what Noho Pono is and the difference between that and Ho'oponopono. Welcome to the show, Liann.
Aloha Mapuana. Mahalo for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. I attended one of Leanne's events and it was just so good. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I have to have her on the podcast and have her share all of her knowledge with us. And yeah, thank you for being here.
I'm humbled to be here with this event that we did together with your sister Tahiti.
Yeah.
It is an opening and a caring event that we want to help our people in general. But, because we are Hawaiian, we tend to want to help our own backyard first.
Yeah.
And this is what touches our heart, is to be able to help lift their spirits. And when your spirit is lifted, your body is healthy and you attract all the good things that you want in your life.
Yeah. Take me on your journey. So there's this thing that I call the job. So journey on becoming. So take me on your journey on how you came about this, and we can go as far back as you want. We can go childhood or however, and like, how did you become who you are today, basically?
So basically, I never gave up. I was born out of wedlock. My mom got pregnant at the young age of 19, right out of high school. And she got pregnant with my dad, and she never told her parents that she was hapai. So my mom was pure Japanese. So my grandfather is second generation, excuse me. And my mom's third generation. So there's still the Japanese culture of shamefulness at that time. So when my mom started showing that she was hapai, she still couldn't use her words to her father. So she had her brother-in-law tell him one night that she was hapai. And so my grandfather at that time said, well, we're going to send her to Japan with you, because my uncle was working there as selling things in the military base. Mm-hmm. And so...
Was she here in Hawaii at
yes,
that time? Okay.
My mom, Kamaki High School grad, met my Koko father, and they got together, not at school, but... So this all happened 1964.
Okay.
And so, excuse me, my mother was on her journey to Japan. And when they got to the hospital, they went for an abortion. My grandfather said, we're going to take you to Japan for an abortion. Mm. Well, lo and behold, they said, sorry, Miss Uyeda, you are 8 months pregnant.
Wow.
So that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And so they were going to adopt me to a family here in Hawaii with the same kind of, nationality. And when I was born, my mom said she didn't want to give me up. And so here I am. And so my journey started in the womb of always just wanting to be here in this world. I knew I had a purpose. I knew that the journey wasn't going to be easy. But I stuck through it, and this is where pa'akiki comes in handy. When you're stubborn, you can be stubborn about good things too.
Yeah.
Oh. So what happened is I just went through looking for career, schools, and like everyone else, they're doing searching. Mm-hmm. I call it the buffet of life.
Right. And you sample a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Yeah, figure out what you like, what you don't like.
Exactly.
And I got my first massage in Calistoga, California. And then I had my first out-of-body experience there, where I saw myself. And I said, this is pretty awesome. I'm going to look for it when I go back home.
How old were you at that point?
I was probably like 28, 29.
Okay. Yeah.
And so when I came to home, to Oahu, I looked for a massage and I like yellow pages back then, right?
Right.
And I said, oh, I cannot find, but I found massage school. So I called the school and the awesome receptionist introduced me to what you can do to learn massage. So 2 years later, I went to massage school. Now, mind you, at that time, I didn't go right away because I had presented it to my uncles. And I said, oh, I'm going to go massage school. And they said, why? What for? You know, men are going to try and approach you. I said, Uncle, this is different now. I'm not wearing high heels. I said, this is therapy, this is healing, you know, but back then, their generation, they knew massage in the red light district.
Happy ending.
Right. I was like, no. It ain't like that. And so I went to massage school and then I found out about Lomi Lomi. Auntie Margaret Machado came and spoke. And it was there and then that I decided I only want to do Lomi Lomi. I only want to do Lomi Lomi. So what happened during that time was I found out that we as a Hawaiian culture, we did Ho'oponopono before Lomi Lomi, knowing that if you had harboring something emotionally, it affects your spirit, and that all affects your body and how you feel. The things we hold are the things that present in your body. So stress is in your na'au, in your liver, which affects your kidneys. You know, all of this really is a dynamic system. This body is dynamic, you know, so we have to take care of it. So anyway, getting back on track. So when I discovered Lomi Lomi and how you could heal the whole multidimension of a human body, that's what I kept searching for. And so I kept saying, no ho'oponopono, ho'oponopono. And then I read in Nanai Kekumu from Auntie Mary Kavena Pukui that ho'oponopono is a way of resolving family, you know, pilikia. And you have to have all the members of the family.
Yes.
And that could take weeks.
Yeah.
But because each family member now has their own personal pilikia that has to be resolved, and then you come into an agreement of, you know, kalana, forgiveness, and, you know, all of that. So knowing that Ho'oponopono was that, as I read it, I found another teacher, Auntie Mahealani Kuamo'o Henry, and she's from the Big Island, and she was teaching Ho'oponopono Keala, which means making more right the path. Now, it means that the path that you are on is not right for you. It is your path. And we're not gonna judge you. We're not gonna say, "Well, what you're doing that for?" We're not gonna make you feel worse than you already feel about what you're holding on to. But what we're gonna do is say, you know, your path is good, but we're gonna help it become better. So I realized that through Ho'oponopono Keala, certain teachings through Auntie Mahealani, and so Auntie would bring in aloha. Like, it's all about the aloha. And how do you have aloha inside so that your aloha can still reflect outside in the world? What is hurting you inside here so much that you cannot give your aloha back? You know? And so I would look at Auntie like, gosh, Auntie, you know, how do you keep that aloha? And so through that, I learned about kalana, which is to forgive. And Auntie would say, forgiving is for saving yourself. It is not about you waiting for somebody to forgive you or to say, I'm sorry. It's about you taking responsibility, your kuleana, for your kino, to be pa'apono. And it's about saying, okay, I'm going to forgive for me, not for them, but for me.
for me so I don't have to carry this anymore.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So once you oki that, and sometimes it's like the onion layers, you gotta do more than once,
Right, yeah.
you know. But once
And
you,
it gets more emotional the closer you get,
oh,
like after the first layer and the second layer. And yeah, the deeper
oh
you get, the more
yeah,
emotional it gets.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. And let me tell you, it takes courage
Yeah.
to do this work. It's
Yeah.
not an easy fix.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you don't want to go deep down digging in there into the past, but we are masters of bearing things. And the reason for that is because we are great survivors. We know we came into this world for a reason, but we couldn't figure out that reason. So how I got to Noho Pono is understanding that if we sit and live within our greatness, then no matter who has their pilikia, we're going to look at it and go, oh, okay, so that's where you're sitting. I'm going to sit here and understand you, and I'll pono you, accept you for where you are until you say, can you help me? Can you be a part of my energy of healing? Because otherwise, you're going to try to fix something that's not ready to be fixed. Yeah, you see the nail sticking out of the wall, but the nail likes it there. So, no pull out the nail.
Yeah.
You're going
It's
to get
happy in that spot.
Yeah, you're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Instead, find one picture, put them on top.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or something, do
Yeah.
something useful.
Yeah.
But what I learned is that you have to aloha, love them for who they are and where they are. It's the best you can do. Someone asked me just recently, she had a friend, and her friend who had so much pilikia, but she would draw her into that pilikia. She didn't want to answer her text because it was so heavy, the energy. I said, just love her. It's hard to not get emotional with your family and loved
Yeah.
ones.
But it's also hard sometimes to not have to carry their energy sometimes when they're going through something really bad. And sometimes I feel like sometimes I have people like friends who may want to just dump all their stuff. Like I feel like they're like, oh Mapu, let me just tell you all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, I can't carry this for you. Like it's
No.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got your own umeke,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
they got their umeke.
Yeah.
But what they're looking for with a friend, and mostly women do this, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know too many men who get together and talk story and say, okay, I need to bala'au about
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Or I have friends who call me and say, Lee, I need to vent. And
Yes.
I say, okay, because I'm in that space. But
Okay.
if I have too much going on me,
Yeah.
I don't have space for that,
Okay.
you know?
That's where I feel like setting boundaries in a loving way to be like, I can't right now. Like, I know you need to talk. I know you need to release all this. But for me right now, I'm not in a space to be able to take this on. But it's hard. Sometimes people just want to come and just tell you all their things. And then they
They
just want to be like, okay,
do.
thanks.
I
Bye.
asked, how are you feeling? And you got this whole half an
Oh,
hour thing.
yeah.
And I'm like,
And it's
okay.
heavy, some of
Oh,
it.
my rice stick cooking on the table, the
Right?
dinner
Yeah.
burning. So say, babe, you know what? I love you. I'm sorry you're going through this right now.
Yeah.
But, why don't you either do a grounding technique, meditate, know that you are loved inside and out, and know that this is happening for you to evolve, for you to become a better person.
Yeah.
But before you want to do that, because you want to vent right now, and I get it, you got to get this anger out, you got to get this feeling out, go to the ocean and yell, scream underwater.
Cry, do whatever you want to do. Even in the shower. If
In
you
the
kind of get to the, just go in the
shower.
shower and just like, yeah.
Yeah, play music that makes you feel better.
Cry, release, whatever you need to do. Go for a walk, put some shades on, and just let it all out.
Yeah. And do something for you, because you're not in a space
Yeah.
to help anybody in your ohana right now that
And I
needs you.
can't carry this right now.
And you can't carry it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're also teaching them how to malama their own self should this happen
Yes.
again.
Yeah.
So yeah, we want to be there for our loved ones and or every time, but are we helping or are we enabling? So sometimes we want to
Yeah.
help, and sometimes they're going to keep calling about the same thing over and over
And that's
again.
frustrating as a friend. And like, did we not just talk about this? Like, I'm like, I can't. You keep
Yeah.
doing the same thing over and over. Yeah.
Yeah, the charcuterie board is still here on the table.
Yeah.
I thought we ate that and got rid of it already.
Yeah. Nope. Still sampling. A little bit of this, a little bit of
Right.
that.
And that's okay. That is
Yeah.
so okay because everybody's
Yeah.
going to have their own timing,
Yeah.
and we're not going to be there to judge them, but we're going to be to say, you know what, I love you.
Yeah.
Try it this way
Yeah.
and do yourself first and try and get to that point,
Yeah.
you know.
But please, if you call me back, let's be in a different place. Let's not be in the same place. Exactly. Yeah.
You cannot guarantee stuff like that, but you can
Yeah.
hold that energy for them as a
Yeah.
friend and a loved one.
Yeah.
You can hold that energy and you can love them for who they are
Yeah.
from afar. And energy is very attractive. Like we attract what we need to learn. We attract what we want to bring in to our lives. So say we have pilikia of trauma in a past event when we were younger. Say we were neglected or abandoned or abused. And now we're in a relationship and we feel neglected, abandoned, and abused. Okay? So, true story, I have people come into my office and I say, they're upset about their partner being this, and this. I said, okay, so these are the three things that you're really upset about him. And I said, okay, so tell me now, when you were growing up with your dad and you had all this trauma and drama that was happening, how did you feel? I felt neglected. I felt that he didn't hear me. I felt like he wasn't there for me. I said, is that your partner today? She says, yes. I said,
Wow.
okay, so let's heal that child who needs this love and aloha and understanding. So, no ho'oponopono. We're going deep now. We're going into the deep Kanaloa waters. We're not going to play with the kahakai, okay? We're going to play with the deep water where all the good fish stay.
Yeah. The
Okay.
deep blue. We're not in the light blue area. We're
Yeah.
in the deep blue sea.
The deep blue sea, girlfriend.
Yeah.
And we're going to go deep. So what we're going to do is we're going to go look into your childhood. Is that okay? Okay. So we go into her childhood, and this is where the channeling comes in, and I'm able to help them feel and release what's going on. And the ue on the table, I said, good, get it all out. Because as a child, we're supposed to be like, oh, good, we can't cry. What you crying about?
Yeah. Yeah.
In the old term.
Stop crying.
Stop
Yeah.
crying. I'm going to give you something to cry about.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, I got to send girl. I got to be this, got to be that. So now as adults, you give yourself permission to feel. Let that little child feel what what they're feeling at the time. Once you let that go, now you can channel and give them messages about what happened with their mother and father. Why they are like this. Because the adult mind wants to maopopo, wants to understand. The adult wants to understand. So we give them this. So this is what happened with your dad. This is what happened with your mom. Can you have compassion and aloha for that? Can you understand that this wasn't how they wanted to be with you, but it just happened that way? Because they didn't have the tools to fix their stuff, you know?
And back in the day, like I feel like every generation is very different. So like this generation now, a lot of people talk about their feelings and it's just very normal and natural. But like back in the day, like they didn't do that.
Oh,
But like even with your mom, like she couldn't even come to her or to her parents to say that she was pregnant, or anything like that. But I think every generation, hopefully we all get better and better every generation, or we heal a little bit.
I agree.
Yeah.
You
If not, we
know.
just keep carrying that on
Yes.
to the next.
In fact, I met my real dad, by the way. And so we talk stories sometimes. And he just told me, when we were growing up, we were told we were to be seen and not heard. And this is where we don't learn how to speak our truth. And when you suppress your truth, you are telling your manaiho, your self-empowerment, that you are not worth speaking your truth. And what does the Manaiho say? The Manaiho says, well, if I'm not worth it, then the spirit that I was born with is not worth it. And then all these other things start happening, disease, disarray, things that happen to your body. And then you start attracting all the stuff that you need to learn.
Yeah.
And you don't know, I got rid of this relationship, but I got a new one. Same.
Same, just different face.
Yeah. I thought I learned from the first one.
Yeah.
And it was better, but now it's kind of feeling like the same because now we're doing the mirror effect where your partner is your mirror. They say soulmates. Well, soulmates are a great thing, but soulmates are also the ones to show you what you came here to learn and evolve with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a double-edged sword right there. I love you, but what?
Yeah. And sometimes it's like, what lesson is this trying to teach me? Yeah. But sometimes you want to avoid the lesson, right? Sometimes we're like, oh no, I don't want to look there. But that's part of the onion layer.
That's part of it. I go,
Yeah.
okay, so what is this makana? What is this gift that this person is showing me that I am triggered by it? Like, okay, so somebody says the same thing to me and I don't really care. But my partner says it to me and I'm all blowing up right now.
Right, yeah.
So, okay, so what is that about?
So this is what I heard. Someone told me this once. Things only hurt if there's truth in them. If it hurts a little bit, there's a little bit of truth. But if it hurts a lot, that means that there's a lot of truth in there that you need to like look into. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that can be rough sometimes if you don't want to look there, but it hurts so bad.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Yeah.
Yeah, that why is because that's the trigger in you from this life. But also we can go into past lives and we can hold things from our past lives. And we can also hold things within our DNA.
Yeah.
Back to 10, 11 generations.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
So now think about this. We're up in the stars, in the heavens, and we're going, oh yeah, Hoku, what? You like come down to earth, and you like learn how this and this and this, because and this, when at the end of your life cycle, you say, oh, I wish I did this. I wish I did this better,
Yeah.
And Hoku goes, yeah, we go. And we pick our perfect parents, our perfect mother and father to have this DNA, perfect DNA, and come into this body and go, okay, here we are, born. And then we go, okay, now what? All of this is happening.
Yeah.
But we're young. We're saying it's happening to me. And I don't know what to do with all this. And so now your hoku is not as bright. Your hoku is like, oh man, I feel like somebody took the dimmer and went dim 'em, and I'm not shining like how I felt like I could shine.
Yeah.
Right? So this is where no ho'oponopono comes in. And we go down the path to heal, to see, and to understand why we're really here. Because this body is our aina. This is what we're supposed to take care of. So if the water isn't flowing properly, the vai, then the life isn't there, right? So we one at a time. We don't have to do it all one time. One at a time. Inner child, or what happened here, what happened there. Bringing it all together. And so if you have any kind of pilikia or disease, this is happening for you. Say, okay, wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like how you said, going back like 10, 11 generations, like heal this now so you don't have to come back again and deal with this,
Heal it now, because otherwise you get the next life to work on it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I'm going to come back different. I don't want to come back and still be holding this stuff.
I was just telling my friend the other day, oh, I wonder what I want to pick for my next life.
Right?
I'm looking forward to it already,
Yeah.
And so we look at that and we go, okay, so what if we fix it all now? Can we really live in aloha in this life here?
Yeah.
As I think Nanaviri would say, heaven on earth is what we want. We don't want to go heaven and go, okay, we want to be able to live heaven on earth.
Yeah.
And then you get the good stuff, right? You can enjoy life. You don't have to hold on to the pilikia. Your kids are doing well. Your relationships are doing well. Your career is doing well. you know, and you're shining. Your hoku's back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So give me some steps as far as like what someone can do. So suppose I know that there's things that needs to be healed and I'm like, I don't want to look there, but maybe I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, maybe I should start looking there. Like the first onion layer, let's like peek under there, see what's happening. But like, what are some steps that I could do or anyone listening could do to start to heal that?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first step
Okay.
is you have to take responsibility. You cannot say it's mom's fault, it's dad's
You
fault.
did this to me.
Yeah, that is the hugest one,
Okay.
is to take it as your kuleana.
Okay.
Okay? Now,
But even if you feel like it happened to you, yeah, how though? Like if you feel like these things were done to me, but how do you take responsibility for that though? That and you, if you feel like it was happening to you, I feel like that's a big one.
you got to go back and
Okay.
understand that when you were that hoku in the star in the heavens, right? You made this contract to learn these things. You can't learn it up there.
Okay.
You have to learn it in this bodysuit,
Okay.
the human bodysuit. So are you ready to be brave enough to say, this is what I chose? Hey, the things I chose wasn't so good. I can tell you what I've been through. And it wasn't pleasant, let me tell you. But once I did the first healing I did, I go, shh, why didn't I do this earlier? I feel so much lighter. I feel heard. I feel validated. I feel good. Why didn't I do this earlier? Oh, and plus I lost weight because I was holding on to so much pilikia. And I was exercising, eating right, and I couldn't get my metabolism going. But my spirit goes, oh, I'm good now. I can go.
I can release.
Yeah, yeah. So a whole weight was lifted, and you have to look at it like you're cleaning out the refrigerator. Okay, you got food in there that's been sitting in there. It's molded. It's rotten. It's not good. So what? You're going to keep that in the refrigerator? No, right? You're going to take it out, dump it out, and you're going to fill it with good new things, right? So wouldn't that you want to do that for yourself? Is like take that step. Take that step.
Yeah.
And be brave about it and be the best you about it and know that it happens in perfect timing. It's all one time.
Yeah.
So how would you do that? Well, first of all, you say, okay, I'm going to take responsibility for me. I'm going to look at me so that I can be the best me, not just for me, but for my ohana.
Yeah.
Okay. So how does that look? Okay. Kalana is to forgive. Okay. So not the event, the person, you're doing it for yourself, remember now. So there's ways of forgiving. You can write a letter and you can burn it and let the little kid write the letter, dear mom and dad, and don't give it to them. Just go to the beach and burn it. And then you go okay, you go swim and you cleanse and you let that ocean take it all away. Okay? And then you come back and you hilinai, you trust. You trust that you've done this work. You trust that the future is going to be better. And you trust that if any pilikia happens again, you know how to handle it. It's not an all game. You know, you're not the only one who has pilikia. We all do. So don't feel that you're all by yourself. So go ahead, work on it. And then Pono, accept that you chose all of these events for you, and accept that you can shift the future events. Once you kalana, once you hilinai, you can shift. When I first learned this, I had the hardest time hilinai to trust, right? So I wrote hilinai on a paper and I stuck it under my bed between the two beds. And I stuck it in there and I slept with hilinai.
What does hilinai mean?
Trust.
Okay.
Yeah, I slept with trust because you're not used to it. Wait, this is new territory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I did all the tools. I slept with it. I put Post-its on the refrigerator, on the mirror.
Like trust it is going to be okay. You're on the right path.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And keep continuing to ground yourself, go
Okay.
to the ocean, go hiking.
Yeah. Yeah. So if someone's listening and they don't live near an ocean, they can go hiking, they can just get out in nature.
And they
Yeah.
can do grounding techniques. I have one called Kukulu Okeao.
Okay.
And what you do is you visualize a bright, beautiful star in your third eye point, which is located between your eyebrows. And with that beautiful, bright star, you take a paw breath and you exhale and you bring that star down your spine to the core of the center of the earth. And you reconnect with the Aina, Ahunua, and you vortex that. You make it the biggest swirl, the biggest Dairy Queen swirl you ever wanted, right? And you're gonna make it white and gold and blue, whatever color comes to you, as big as you want. And the next breath, you bring that swirl up to the top of your head, back to the star in which you came from, and stay there a while. Get messages from your maker. And then the next breath, bring that hoku back to your third eye point. That's a really, really good grounding technique that I do. And there's more other techniques that I do also, but I don't know if I have time to do it all today with your audience. But I'd love to share more and bring us all back up to that pa'a, vibration that we want to be.
Yeah. So, okay, so as women, I feel like we carry a lot of stuff and we have a hard time to release things sometimes because I feel like women in general, we like to keep the peace. But like I read this once and it said like, but whose peace are you keeping?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, first of all, I have a running joke. My 3 hormones are not happy with your 1 hormone. Okay? So it's like, okay, now I got to manage my 3 hormones, okay?
Yeah, right? We're happy, we sad, we got other things going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going through mental pause right now, so it's a thing.
Mental pause. I'm going to use that next.
So I was like, okay, hormones, what are you doing? So, as women, we are the holders of the eke. We hold things for others as well.
Yeah.
But what are we really doing? If we don't have space, if we're holding our own stuff, we don't have space for other people's stuff. Like your kids coming home, Mom, Dad, what?
Yeah.
Everybody's coming to you. And in this day and age, you're also working, you're also cooking, you're also taking care of the kids.
Yeah.
And you have to be organized and pa'a, right? But if you're focusing on the pilikia, you don't have energy to just bring in like, oh, let's just make it happen. They're not saying, okay, we're going to do this, 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 and this. You're allowing the pilikia to run your life.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah.
And now you're just too tired to do any of this stuff.
Yeah. So you're just like living with it now.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
zombie land.
Yeah.
And that's not healthy for you or anybody else, because you want to be present for yourself. You want to be present for your loved ones. And that then, when they graduate, you're like, oh yeah, I was there. We did this.
Yeah.
I remember this. I remember that.
Yeah.
And I remember helping them through this and being a part of that growth that they had,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing for me during this conversation was when you said that we have to take responsibility for our part in it, even if we feel like it's happening to us, but we signed up for this. And it's like, we signed up for this to learn this lesson. And so what is our part in this, and whatever it's going to teach us. Yeah. But sometimes it's hard. Like sometimes the lessons are hurtful and it's just like, I don't want to even look there because I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to have to feel the feelings of it all,
Yeah, I can really relate to that.
Yeah.
And you don't want to feel it because it's too much.
Yeah.
But think about it this way. Holding on to it is way worse than feeling it and letting it go.
Yeah, exactly.
It's way too heavy. It's holding you down. And not only that, you're reflecting it upon your family members.
Yeah. And
And
do you want to come back in this next life still holding this? Like empty out the backpacks. Let's come back with
yeah,
a clean slate.
yeah. And when I see you the next time, remember we did that.
Right? Yeah.
And look us now.
Right? Yeah. Look how much better we are now. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to do that. We want to have that. At the end of this life cycle, I want to say, I did the best that I could and everything else. And think of it this way too. You're doing all of these things to survive. Like we have to work and we have to, do all of these things to function in this dimension, right? But you can't take any of these things with you when you hala.
Yeah.
All you can take with you is what you have learned and evolved with spiritually.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
And so when you're at that deathbed, you're like, you know what? I'm so glad I did all of this. I feel accomplished. I feel good about this. I'm ready.
Yeah. I feel like I lived a good life.
Yeah. I did everything I could for my kids, for my loved ones, and I'm good.
Yeah.
You know?
I came to learn what I'm supposed to learn. I healed what I feel I'm supposed to have healed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful way, I feel like, to reach the end of your life. And we never know when the end of our life is. So it could be today, tomorrow, who knows?
Yeah. And that's the thing, um, you never know, right? So, true story. I work on some people who have lost their loved ones before them, like their kids and their husbands. And it is the hardest thing for any parent to have to do. But they contracted this out so that when their children or loved ones went before them, they are now their guides. So they came here with this gift, not utilizing their gift, and now their kid on the other side is Ima, hui. Remember me. We're gonna talk story now. We're gonna have conversations. And now you are in turn sharing this with the rest of the world and helping the rest of people who have been through similar situations. So did you contract that out? Absolutely. Did you know that at the time? No. Did it hurt like heck? Yes. Does it still hurt today? Yes. But what gets you through it is that you're helping other people through your experience. That helps you through it all.
So, what are ways people can, okay, so like how you said about listening to people who have passed on or your ancestors, what are some ways that people can start to like learn that?
Okay. So, as I teach Lomi Lomi, one of the easiest and most tactful is shed your pilikia, because you don't have the room right now to really hear them.
And just in case if someone's listening, they don't know what pilikia is.
Pilikia is past trauma and drama.
Trauma and drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
work on yourself and then focus on your third eye point, do the grounding and do your deep breath meditations. And also, we are culturally connected. Amau Amau was what we knew, that when someone changed address, as Auntie called it, that when somebody hala, they just change address. They're not dead. They're still alive, just in another dimension.
Yeah.
So we say amau amau, like everything is still there, and time is time. There is no time loss between us when they change address, right? So your ancestors are there waiting for you to talk to them. All you have to do is say hui. All you have to do is think of them, and they're right there. But you're not feeling it. You're not listening, and until something bad happens, then you go, oh God, oh kupuna. No, don't wait for something bad to happen. Say, you know what? I don't know what to do about this situation. I'm mahalo you for being here. What can I do? And maybe the first time you work on this, doing it, you may not hear them or listen, but you're going to hear the wind blow, or you're going to see the bird fly, and you're going to go, oh, that's the Hawaii Lona.
Yeah.
The sign that they are here.
Yeah.
And once you can connect with that, you're going to go, okay, now I can believe, because we lost that belief somewhere along the line. We
Yeah.
lost that belief. We should never, ever lose that belief. But we had to. As a culture, when the missionaries came, we had to lose that. But we don't have to anymore. We're going to go back there. And we're
And it's just like returning back home
exactly
to our true home.
Yes, to your
Yeah.
true self.
To your true self. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
not just our culture, it's many cultures.
Yeah.
So if your listeners are from another indigenous culture, it's all the same.
Yeah.
All the same.
Yeah.
Ama. So yeah, get that connection back. And then you're gonna go, oh, wake up one night, you're dreaming and you hear them talking and you go,
Yeah.
oh, Auntie came in my dream and you know what she said? She said, and you go, okay, you wake up from your dream and you go, okay, remember now. I want to write this down, so keep a notepad.
Yes. Because for me, like 10 minutes, and I'm like, wait, what did I dream again? I can't remember.
I know, and it was so good, right?
Right. In that moment, you're like, oh, this is so good. I want to remember this. And it's like lunchtime, and it's like, wait, I know I had a dream. I can't remember what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just write it down.
Write it down, or
Have a dream journal by your bed.
I love that. Have a
Yeah.
dream journal.
Yeah.
And then you can know that you are connecting.
Yeah.
So what is it? Is it really that you cannot connect, or you believe you cannot connect?
Or you were told that you cannot, or you were told not to listen, or
Exactly.
yeah.
Oh yeah, especially some, things in a building with pedestals.
Right? Yeah.
I'm not gonna say.
But we get the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that empowers you. That is so important.
Totally.
You know.
And they can do, if someone's listening, and they can just do this in baby steps.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And getting back to that belief thing, Auntie Malia Craver said, Kia kua iloko ohu he mana ho'ola. God within you is healing power. So we all have it.
Yeah.
What she's saying is you have God within you.
Yeah.
You can heal yourself, but you can also listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just some people are more in tune with it than other people. Or maybe other people just kind of like try to avoid it. If they hear something or maybe they see something and then they're like, oh, no, that's not it. Like, it's like stopping yourself,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now here's a big one. I've worked on people and they're mad at their higher source because they feel that it did them wrong. Wait, I'm not blaming mom. I'm not blaming dad. I'm not blaming my past life. I'm blaming God.
Oh, wow.
And that one is a big one to heal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going back to Pono, to accepting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And say, you know what? Wait, I'm not going to blame anybody because I know somewhere along the line.
I had a choice. I chose this.
chose this.
That to me, I think that's the biggest one for me is like knowing that I chose this. So when something happens, to just know that you chose this. What is the lesson? Like, let's get through it.
It's so, yeah, I've been through a lot, but I know people who've been through way more than me.
Yeah.
And yet they're still trying to figure out, no, I didn't choose this.
But
How
you
could I have
did.
chose
Yeah.
this? You know?
Yeah.
And now, if you are still holding pilikia, then you're holding pilikia for like, okay, say your child was born with a disability or something, right? And you're holding on to this pilikia. Are you helping your child? No, you are not.
Yeah.
Because now your child feels that energy.
Yes. Yeah.
And you're not helping the growth. But you made that contract to have this child, for this child to have this experience so you guys can grow and learn something together.
And this child chose this also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In the old days,
Yeah.
Auntie Mary Fragris, one of my lomi teachers, she was born, I think she had like polio or something. And she told us this story, that her uncle was given the task to take her as a baby to the ocean, because that's what they did in the old days.
Wow.
Yeah. They knew that you would not be capable of living and doing what you had to do in this life. So they would take the kid to the ocean or the mountains or something. And when Uncle got to the ocean, he said, no, I cannot. So he brought the baby back to the mother. And the mom said, okay, well, then you gotta learn how to live without walking. So she would grab a chair, get herself up as a little kid, grab a wall, grab a table, and started walking. And Auntie was teaching lomi lomi, and she had kids of her own, normal,
Wow.
and had a regular life.
Wow.
Yeah. So what is it? Is it the power of within, the power of your spirit, of wanting to be here, and wanting to do this. And if anything is bringing you down, you don't you can have that moment. I cannot say that we don't have those moments. You can have that moment, but pick yourself out of it. I look at it like if you're surfing and you're on the wave and you crash, are you going to pull yourself out of that wave so you don't keep tumbling?
Or are you mad that the wave ended? Like, no, you got to get back up again. Are
Get
you mad that
back
you
up.
fell off the board? No. It's part of life. It's part of it.
Yeah.
Part of the process. Yeah.
I got scars to prove it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But am I going to drown and grumble, or
Yeah.
am I going to get back up on my board and have the best wave ever?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. My grandmother used to always say, when your canoe sinks, you swim.
Right.
Swim. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This reminds me, my girlfriends will call me up. Sis, I fell out of the canoe. So we help each other get back in, you know.
Yeah.
It's good to have that, you
Yeah.
know, that group of community people that you can talk to.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about your book, Cooking
Okay.
Pono. Cooking in Pono.
Cooking in Pono came
Yeah.
out about 10 years ago, actually.
Okay.
I sold my first 3,000, came out with my second print.
Wow, good for you.
Yay!
Yeah. And are these
Wow.
all family recipes or?
These are all family recipes.
Okay.
So I was on my way to Aotearoa, to New Zealand.
Yeah.
And we were doing lomi lomi and ho'oponopono keala. There was about 12 of us.
Yeah.
And as I was riding on the airplane, my mom was going through her remission of cancer. And I said, Mom, is there anything that I can bring back? Because, you know, you want to bring back stuff for your family.
Yeah.
She goes, yes, a miracle. And my mom never would ever say that, right? So I came back with 3 miracles from New Zealand.
Wow.
But as I was writing the stories of my life, how I got here, and I started incorporating it with the family recipes, that's how Cooking in Pono came about.
Oh.
And it is in a memoir, not only of my mom, but of my grandparents who started the cafeteria back in the 1960s on Dillingham Shipyard, where I grew up. My grandfather, being pure Japanese during the war, they were all supposed to go to Japanese encampments. Mr. Dillingham spoke up for my grandfather, and he didn't have to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is a person who
Yeah.
just, you know, learned how to cook on his own.
Yeah.
And it's ono. I mean, I think it's ono. Like, you know, when you have a hard time going out because you know you can make it better.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
if someone wants to work with you, like how can they contact you? Your website or?
I have a website, alohalomilomi.com.
Okay.
I also have a cell number,
Okay.
808-728-5244.
Okay.
And because, you know, we get so many emails nowadays, I don't always check it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
cell is the best.
Okay.
And, you know, I love to help people.
Yeah.
That's what I love doing. And when you come to my hale, it's like a little temple where I work out of. And it's just a safe place.
Nice. Yeah.
Beautiful, safe place. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing all that you did. Thank you so much.
Mahalo nui.
Thank you so much for listening to the Mom Wanna Read show. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend. Tag me, tag Leanne, and we'll see you in the next episode.